Hey y'all, how you doing? So silver is skyrocketing, but there are some scary signs because as it skyrocketed to its biggest price that it's ever jumped to in history, then we saw a huge collapse. So I'm gonna tell you exactly what it means for you and what someone like me would do in this situation, because this is not the first time that we have seen something like this when it comes to the stock market and the regular person. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm looking at this headline, this article from CNBC. It says silver tops $80 for the first time and then stages dramatic reversal overnight. Okay, so a couple of things here. We talk about silver and gold, these precious metals. Why are precious metals starting to grow in such value this past year? Because inflation is killing the United States dollar. I've seen some reports talking about how the US dollar has dropped almost 10% in just this year alone. So people are taking their money, they're putting it in gold and silver to try and have it be a hedge against inflation. And they're also using things like high yield savings accounts instead of regular savings accounts. Because if you put your money in a regular savings account, I'm not gonna say you might as well be burning it, but it's getting worn out against inflation, because as inflation goes up, the amount that your dollar can buy goes down. So if you don't invest your money in solid things that can be a hedge against inflation, you're cooked just leaving your money in a regular savings account. But the point of this video is talking about this huge rise in silver, but how it's something that's kind of weary for regular people. Because what happens is when you have articles like this that talk about how big these prices are jumping or how big, the investment is going, it's really kind of a small signal to make you, the regular person, do something while someone else is able to profit from it. Let's look back at this article. Let's get a little bit more information. So going back to our CNBC article, and looking at the key points here, it says peak to trough, silver plunged 15%, the biggest high to low change going back to August 2020 when it dropped 16.85%. This is a historic move. We haven't seen a move like this in a long time. Okay, this is the thing. Maybe we haven't seen it with silver in a long time, but we have most definitely seen it with other things over a period of time, especially since 2020. And what am I getting at here? See, here's the trap for regular people. They see articles like this: silver tops $80, silver is jumping to all-time highs, gold is jumping to all-time highs. Let me tell you, what this signals to the regular person is that, oh, I need to go buy silver, I need to go buy gold, I need to go put my money in this because I want to be part of the train that rides into these big money getting opportunities. And really what it is a trap in this sense. Okay, listen to me here. You put your money in these things that are blowing up, and then as soon as you put your money in them that are blowing up, right now it's silver, what happens? Just like the article says, overnight 15% collapse. Because here's what happens. By the time you see the headline, you, the regular person, are already cooked, because the headline is sent out to signal to you to buy and put money in it. And the headline, to those who have been in it the whole time, signals for them to go ahead and start to sell and take profits. That's why. See, let's dive a little further into this article so we can just see a little bit of the reasoning behind this. Going back to the article, it says, one of the best trades of the year just staged a massive reversal overnight. Silver futures slid 7% on Monday after topping $80 an ounce for the first time ever in overnight trading. The precious metal was last trading at $71.79 an ounce. The move is even more dramatic on an intraday basis. Peak to trough, silver plunged 15%, a parabolic move that is the biggest high to low change going back to August 2020 when it dropped 16.85%. And right there, we see that quote again, talking about how historic of a move this was. So I want to really break this down for those of you who are regular retail investors, because, okay, well, Richard, what do we do? All right, take a look at this chart. This chart is showing what silver was at 3 p.m. today. At 3 p.m. today, silver was $72.38. Now, mind you, overnight it was $80. So the drop was catastrophic. And the drop was catastrophic, not for those who had been in silver for a long time, but for those who had seen the headlines about silver going up and up and up over the past couple of weeks. Well, let me tell you something. When you are invested in a stock and you're only invested in a stock for a period of weeks, rather than what people who were taking their profits now invested in silver for literal years, when you're only invested in it for a couple of weeks and then you buy high, you get crushed when these people start taking profits. This just happened to me not too long ago. If everybody remembers the whole GameStop, big mania that happened in 2021, I believe it was 2021, a lot of retail investors saw, oh, GameStop is shooting up. They got in late, and then when GameStop dropped, they were the ones who got killed. But the ones who were in GameStop for years before and just let their money sit there made wild money. What a person needs to do, a regular person needs to do, is DCA, dollar cost average, into these stocks that you want to invest in. And dollar cost averaging, please remember this. You put in money that you can afford to lose, and you also put it in and forget about it. You don't need to be watching CNBC. You don't need to be on Robinhood. You don't need to be watching what it does day to day, because that type of obsessive behavior is going to make you sell and panic and lose your money when you probably shouldn't. Let me give you a real life example what I did recently. So I went through this little time period where I said, okay, I have a little extra money that I've saved up. My emergency fund is built pretty well. Let me really start investing and looking into safe investments. I'm gonna give you some golden investments if you do wanna get into the stock market. But mind you, I'm saying these are things that you should dollar cost average into, as in you put some money in that you can afford to lose and you put it in and forget about it. VOO is a great one. That's an ETF, it's an index fund. VOO looks at the S&P 500, the top 500 companies in America, and it is an index fund where you put a little bit of money into all of them, and that money is spread into all of them. I know the economy is heavily leveraged on AI, but spoiler alert, when it comes to AI, that is what the US economy is focused on now. So if they let it fail, economy's done. If they want it to be successful, hey, you made a little bit of money, congratulations. VOO, top 500 companies in the United States. VEU is the top companies outside of the United States. So say the United States economy crashes, well, VEU is everybody outside of the US. So hey, you didn't lose all your money, you just lost some of it. But VEU is everybody outside. So hey, maybe you'll make some, who knows? Okay, VOO, VEU. The other thing, GLD, that is gold. That is the index fund for gold. That is a place where you can put your money, you can park it, and it can potentially be safe from inflation. But mind you, everybody is putting their money in gold right now, so you might suffer through some collapses. And the last one is silver. Off the top of my head, I don't know what the index fund for silver is right now, but I know, hey, gold and silver, precious metals. All right, but your mentality when you put your money into these things should not be, oh, I'm about to make a whole bunch of money. The mentality should be, this is basically another high yield savings account for me. I'll put my money here, I'll let it grow, and I'll go get a little bit of it when I need it. But those are things that are safe. Now, well, as safe as they can be with how the overall market is doing. My personal experience is this. I saw those things, I was putting money into those things, but I was getting caught up in the hype and putting too much money into those things. And then it was like, oh man, I need some money to pay some bills. Now I gotta come get it all. But you know what I figured out? My 401k, and if you have a job, you probably have a 401k. Your 401k is already investing in the S&P 500. It's already investing in, you could have a mutual fund. So it's already investing in the individual stocks that are relatively safe. So an app like Robinhood, you might not need it. The only things that you could just take your little money and put it aside in is precious metals, gold and silver. But do not, I repeat, do not think you're putting your money into gold and silver and this is your get rich quick scheme. No, that ain't how this works. This stuff, you put money in that you can afford to lose and then you forget about it and you go grab it when you need it and you're not grabbing it all. That's the game. Don't get caught up in this game. If you want to buy some silver right now because you see it shooting up, okay, go ahead, go get it. But don't think that you're about to get rich quick because that ain't happening. Because it can drop. All they got to do at the Fed is turn on the money printers and start giving out stimulus checks and it will drop. Yeah, people will say, oh, inflation will go up, but that's very few people who are financially aware, not the majority of people. So, last thing we want to look at in our article, it says spot silver prices briefly touched an all-time high of $83.62 an ounce during Monday's trading session before they fell to $75.32. This morning's price decline, which follows record highs, is attributed mainly to traders, listen to this, taking profits ahead of year end. That's why it happened. But you've got the strategy that you should do, DCA, dollar cost average, put in money that you can afford to lose and forget about it and only get it out in case of emergency. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with somebody who you think needs it. And hey, y'all, I'll talk to you a little bit later. Have a good one.